Happy night, YouTube. Happy night, everyone. So today in this video, it's kind of just like a quick update. Um, I kind of want to share a little bit with y'all because yes, I am with child and coming up out of coming up on the halfway point of this pregnancy and not halfway meaning like 20 weeks, not there yet, but definitely getting there. Not quite there, but getting there. Um, and I know I feel like when I look at myself, I look as rough as I feel. Because this pregnancy is a lot different than the first one when I'm carrying my son. Like this one is very different. Um, I was a lot more, can I say it? Like I had a lot more energy when I carried my first son, and food wasn't as much of a challenge after, like the first trimester. This one is doing something different. But yeah, I think I definitely look as rough as I feel. I need to wash my hair. I need to deep clean, like detox my hair. Not just wash it, but like deep clean and detox my hair. And so yeah, in this video, I just want to just talk a little bit because I'm doing things a little bit differently this time around. So I just shared about, if you've seen already, like on my Facebook or Instagram, or even on iTunes community section, I just, just posted about the cash fund, like a registry. But with my first son, I did have a registry, so that family will you know, can just send gifts, purchase gifts off of the registry, and that was actually very difficult because and it was actually unnecessary because I could have got everything that I needed where I was. Um, and it actually cost everything that I got, everything that my family got, the amount of of clothes and just postpartum, like anything that I got, any gifts or essentials was way more. No, the essentials cost way less than the actual shipping of everything. The shipping was and the customs and all of that stuff was just very much so unnecessary. So I'm not doing that this time. Um, so in place of the registry, instead of having a registry, we just have the cash fund. And instead of everyone buying the gifts from the registry or whatever, I have a list of everything that I would like to get this time. And it's not a very long list because obviously it's very simple. You don't really need a million and one things, you know. There's certain things like big things that are normally like essentials we're not getting. Um, I didn't use it for my son, and I don't think I'm gonna be having to utilize, like just certain things that I'm not, just certain things that I'm not gonna be getting that could probably increase the expenses. But yeah, so I have a list of everything that I would like to get, and like I said, it's not a very long list because we're very simple. You don't need a million and one things. So instead of everyone buying a registry, I have the list, and there's just the cash fund where everyone can just send the gifts, monetary form to the Cash App, PayPal, whatever, and you know, I'll go out and get all of the essentials that we're gonna need for baby, for um, myself, postpartum, for the actual labor, delivery. Also for my son, my 4-year-old, because I'm also taking him into consideration because it's a transition from him for him as well. And yeah, yeah, I'm also thinking about my son. Um, and certain things I would like to get for him because, like I said, it's a transition for him as well. And yeah, he's still growing. He's still going to need, his mind still needs to be fed. and nurtured and nourished in certain ways as well. And yeah, I'm just taking that into consideration. And I have certain things on my list for him, even, as far as homeschooling and things. I haven't been as on it or like organized with that because, like I said, this pregnancy was a lot different. Like the first trimester was actually very, very rough. I mean, this go around, it was actually very rough. um, so yeah, I'm needing to get back on that. Plus, he's been going through like a growth spurt, and just you know, he's just needing certain things. So I'm taking that into consideration. So that those certain things are on my list as well for him. And yeah, it's not just things that I'm not, because I did mention things that I didn't get, that we didn't get the first go around with my son, but there's also things that I would like to get that would have been very beneficial when we had our son, because especially also thinking about the weather possibilities. Um, I know due dates are not exact, but there's a certain window. That window looks like, I'm looking at the weather. Um, if you know anything about climate, geography, climates, microclimates, and all of those things, then normally we're in like more mountainous areas, and mountainous areas is always kind of, they can be kind of cold. The air can be a lot more harsh in those areas, especially at night, especially if it's the cold season. The night times can be a little bit rough. So I'm also thinking about that. Certain things that I would like um maybe to utilize this go around. Um so yeah, there's just certain things. Like I said, it's not a very long list actually. It's even with everything on the list, I'm still, our budget is still nowhere near what it would be if I was thinking of getting all these big fancy things, 1,000, 1,000,001 things that is just not really necessary for us, at least, and how we live. So yeah, um, I would like you guys to just stay tuned for more videos, because as I go through, I would like to share more with you guys. So maybe like my next video will be, because like I said, I have a list, and I'm going through everything that we have already, to just, make sure that my list is good. Do I need to take anything off or add anything? Because we have things already. I grew up this way, using like hand-me-downs, and secondhand things. So yeah, making use of what we got, just, and that cuts down on costs a lot. It's very economical. It's even more, not just economical, but it's very environmentally sustainable, because to make clothes, and just, I'm not gonna get into all that right now, because y'all know at this point everyone should know those things. The child labor, the cheap labor, and all this stuff going into buying or making new clothes, and all these different things like secondhand, hand me downs. Some stuff can't be hand me downs, because when you think about like newborn and stuff, some stuff, you have to get it new if you want to get it, if you want it or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going through what we have already, and I'm going to do that in the video, and do that with you guys, take y'all along. And yeah, like I said, this is just like an update video. um I want to just take you guys along. We're just, I said this before, but we're not quite at that halfway mark, the 20-week mark, but we are getting there. And yeah, I am full of thanks that everything has been aside from like all of the other like the nausea, the vomiting, which I had a lot of, even more so than my first pregnancy. The food aversions, which I've had a lot more of in comparison to my first pregnancy. Um, Everything just looks more intense this time around. But aside from that, I'm full of thanks that everything has been fairly smooth as far as the pregnancy goes. I don't. I'm just full of thanks. Everything has been smooth, and most I willing, everything will definitely stay that way. And I do want to increase, just my own spiritual wellness during this pregnancy in comparison to my first pregnancy. And because I know that there's a lot of things that I could have done differently, a little things that I could have, um, that just could have helped me a lot more in my first pregnancy. And there's certain things that I know affected me more in my first pregnancy that I don't want to carry this time around. And not just because I'm pregnant, but I think when you do get pregnant, it kind of puts everything like in, like, places an emphasis on certain things. Um, so yeah, I want to take more attention of that as well. And so it's good for me, and then also it's good for like all of our kids as family in general. And yeah, yeah. So, like I said, this time around we do not have a registry, but there is a I do have a list of everything. And if you would like to see more about this entire process, like more of getting essentials and just seeing how I I'll be sharing things like how I cared for my newborn with my son. When my son was a newborn, how I will, do it this time around, or if I'm learning new things this time around, because I do want to increase my um, knowledge this time too, because and be more prepared. Because first with my son, I was just kind of winging it. I kind of just went with what was presented to me at the time. I didn't ask anybody like a lot of questions. Nobody really came to me telling me a whole lot of stuff. So I kind of was just winging it. And that's also something that I want to do differently this time. Obviously, I'm more prepared than before because it's not my first time. But it's still things that I can still learn. Um, anyway, before this gets too long, yeah, I want to really get like be a lot more prepared for anything, like touch all grounds this time. And yeah, I look forward to that. So you guys can also look forward to seeing more videos as I go through this entire thing. Which is also different than what I did with my first pregnancy, because my first pregnancy I was just going, no one knew anything. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't share any videos about anything. But yeah, I'm doing that differently this time. And anyway, aside from, the videos and things, like I said, there's no registry, but there is a fund, like a registry cash fund. So you guys, if you would like to support, you can send any gifts, monetary gifts, to my Cash App, PayPal. If you have Zelle, you can also inbox me directly for Zelle. Message me directly for Zelle information. And we really appreciate any gifts and things that we get from and support from our virtual community, as well as our family, everything. Everyone just so full of thanks, because things can be hard and can be rough, but to be honest, the Most High really takes care of everyone. I feel like we really see the fruit of that more so when you're really in true community, to be honest. I feel like you see the fruit of that so much more. So yeah, all of the links are in the description. You can find all of that. And again, I'm full of thanks to everyone who has supported this channel. Full of thanks because I think I'm coming up on like 2,000 subscribers, and it's not a lot to some people, but for me, that's a lot. And I'm full of thanks for that. And also, even from my first pregnancy, if I never said it before, for anyone from iTunes specifically, if you ever sent any gifts, bought anything from the registry, sent any donations and things like that, I'm full of thanks because it really meant a lot, and we really appreciate all of that. So, in the same this time around, I really appreciate all of it, and yeah, don't want this to be too long-winded. But like I said, just stay tuned for more videos, and yeah, until next time, bye.